Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. This is, since of course we're now very deep in the grand final week, I know it's probably too late for this, but probably a review on the preliminary finals just last weekend. One game showed one team is definitely the clear favourite going into the game this Saturday, and another team and another final, which was another all-time classic. I think that's probably now six finals games this year where it's probably been one of the best. Some of the best finals that we've ever seen. So let's get straight into it. The first preliminary, so I watched all these prelims. The first preliminary final, of course, Geelong and Brisbane. We knew that it was it was one of those game matchups where we wanted a close game, but in hindsight, we weren't going to be expecting that. And it didn't. I've been holding back on announcing my Premiership favourite for the last 24 weeks of the season. Everyone's saying, oh, Carlton. I just held back and saying no. Or when I think, and I've been holding back because I thought, maybe they need to on the biggest stage. They need to prove to myself that they're worthy of me saying, they can win the Premiership. Well, I think Geelong definitely on the game last Friday night proved that they are going to be the clear favourites in this grand final this Saturday. They absolutely dominated the game. Absolutely dominated. I think from when Dangerfield kicked the first goal, I think it was inside the first minute in the game, that knew, it was going to be Geelong by how far, and it proved to be. But to be fair, Brisbane did hold their own. It was only like 5 goals at half time, which was the margin. And then the third quarter, Geelong just absolutely dominated that quarter. But by halfway through the third quarter, I was watching it and I was just saying, please throw in the towel, please, because it was just because every time the Geelong went inside 50, they just scored goals. That was what it was. Basically, that's just what it was. But yeah, and then obviously and it was, by 3/4 time we all knew the game was over. Basically the final quarter was basically dead rubber really, and a dead rubber quarter pretty much, where we all knew the game was over, but we still had a quarter to go, and of course Geelong ended up winning it by 71 points in the end. Can you believe it? It's Geelong. Can you believe it? I think it's Geelong's. I think I've read something. I think it's, I don't know how many grand finals it is. I think 07, since 2007, it's been 07, 08, 09, those grand finals, and then they were in the grand final in. I think they were in, and then in 2011 they were in the grand final, and then 2020 I think that they were in the grand final. I can't remember. I think it was 2020 and now 2022. So that's six. This is their 6th grand final appearance in this long successful era since this era first started in 2007. I think for me, even though Brisbane, I think if you were to ask me what was it all boiled down to, was it Brisbane being bad or Geelong being good? I think it was more Geelong being good. I think Brisbane had been through, of course, a thrilling elimination final win against against Richmond, a shock semi-final win upset semi-final win against Melbourne to knock them out in straight sets. They've been through two sudden death finals, and it was always going to get the better of them on that front, and that is basically they've been through this last two games of basically them just sudden death, and of course versing the best team in the league, in Geelong, who have won 14 straight games to entering into that game. There was no chance for Brisbane, even though they did have even though they had Neil, who was very quiet in that game. I think Selwood, who on Saturday is going to break Michael Tuck's record of most finals appearances with 39. He's going to break it with 40. Can you believe it? And can you believe it? What a career he's had. Credit, and they didn't. It was strange, really, that how they tagged Neil out of the game, because they showed vision of this on the Sunday Footy show last week, where they showed vision of of the contest between the Geelong midfielders and Lachie Neale, and there wasn't just one tagger. They just spread it all around, mostly from Selwood. Selwood's physicality was so pivotal that even that halfway they showed it halfway at the stage where halfway through the second quarter, Neale just couldn't run anymore because he was just being outplayed. And that's because of experience, because Selwood, because obviously he's been in this for many years, so he knows how to do this sort of stuff. So yeah. But Brisbane, I think they were lucky, really, to not lose by more, because Tom Hawkins didn't, even though he kicked 3 in the end, he didn't have his kicking boots on early. He missed a couple of shots, easy shots, like some that were within his range, or they were straight in front, and he missed. It was just unbelievable, really, and I think they probably could have won by at least 80 plus points if Tom Hawkins had kicked straight. The one sour note for Geelong was that Max Holmes, who I think has been one of Geelong's best players during this final series. He was great. He was great in the qualifying final against Collingwood. He was great. He was good. He was great until he got injured in the preliminary final. And there's still juries out. We'll find out as I'm recording this tonight whether he's going to be in the starting lineup. Because I would assume first today is when the starting lineups will get announced. So we'll find out tonight whether he is going to be in or not. Well, or someone comment down below, please, that he is playing before the starting lineups do get announced. So if he they did say that that there is like for like replacements if they rule Holmes out, but the problem is he's been that good throughout this final series that it's hard to fill in the shoes of someone who's high on confidence. I mean, and his confidence is that high. Is Holmes throwing the last two matches. So I think for me, yes, it is a risk to put him in the side, but it's a risk also to get someone in who hasn't played that much this year, especially, and then handed a role like Rolls' role in the team. I think that would be a bit. A bit of a risk also. So yeah. So but I think we'll find out that tonight, as I'm recording this, when of course the lineups get announced. Excuse me. So Geelong on the Friday night, too good for Brisbane. Now on to the other preliminary final, and holy God, this match was probably we've already seen 5 great finals this year, and just add a 6th one to it in the Sydney Collingwood preliminary final. It was unbelievable. I mean, at halftime, it looked like halfway through the third quarter when Sydney were up by 6 goals, Collingwood were gone for all money. But then we all forgot. Hang on, Collingwood are the comeback kings of 2022. So and undoubtedly they did. And unfortunately, there, as Hamish McLaughlin said on commentary after the final siren, their fairy tale run did come to a grinding halt. Unfortunately, we're falling 1 point short. But the whole of this game was all dominated by Sydney. I think Sydney, I believe, they kicked something like the first 3 goals of the game before Collingwood scored themselves. And for the probably the first time in a long time, Collingwood's defense was a bit unorganised, in my opinion. I think, Maynard was going on Buddy Franklin. Moore was being on the least threatening forward. It was just all at times. Howe was on Franklin. I mean, it was just all over the place. The defense and Franklin and Reid. The forward line in Franklin, Reid, Papley really did punish them for that, and they opened up a 5-goal lead exactly at half time. And even the Fox Footy commentators remarked that this is the first time that we've seen a Collingwood defence structure just all over the place. But they really got their act together after half time, especially after when Sam Reid was out. That's another injury news which I might as well talk about now. Had an adductor. I think that he's something in his abductor, I believe. Abductor issue. Let me say it again. Abductor issue. So that is also another injury cloud. So not only Holmes is an injury cloud, but also Reid is an injury cloud. For this, we'll find out if he's in the side, because really after Reid went out, and after really then they went to a 6-goal lead, they really became more safe with their ball movement, and when you do that, and Collingwood, they just go through the corridor wherever they like. It really brought Collingwood back. And in the last quarter, they just came flying home in the last 5 minutes. Did Collingwood just there was suddenly within like 5 minutes left, I think they were like, what was it, 22 points down. Within like 1 minute left, just like that, they were within 2 points. And I was like, don't tell me they're going to do this yet again. But it wasn't enough for Sydney, for Collingwood, and Sydney made their way to their first grand final since 2016. It's gonna be a great grand final. I'll talk about this more in depth when I preview the grand final itself in more in depth when the starting lineups get announced and what the key matchups are and all that sort of stuff. And everybody's been saying it's gonna be one of the great grand finals, and I agree. I think it's potentially we're gonna see another great grand final. We've seen already six great finals. So the grand final, no pressure at all. And also it's been a fantastic home and away season and all that. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great way to end what is it's a great end, what some might consider to be the comeback year for footy. After the last 2 years being interrupted with I'm not going to say the word because I might get in trouble by YouTube for saying it, but I'm just going to say health issues. The last 2 years, I sort of it was, even though the crowds dwindled most of the home and away season, I think it proved the Collingwood-Carlton game in round 23 and then these final series proved that footy is back in a big way, and I hope big crowds do come back, flooding. People do flood back to watching the footy, hopefully in 2023. We probably might see maybe 100,000 people on Saturday. You never know. It probably might not happen because there is a Sydney side, but maybe some South Melbourne people maybe come down and watch Sydney in the grand final on Saturday. So of course Geelong by 71 points. Sydney by a point as they both move through to the grand final on Saturday. And I said I will be doing a more in-depth preview into the grand final. There'll be facts as well. Announce the squad, the team lineups as well, who the key matchups are, and also my predictions on who's going to win and the margin also. As well. So like this video, share this to anybody who is a Sydney fan or a Geelong fan, or an AFL or just an AFL fan. Comment down below. Comment down below comment down below who do you think will win the grand final on Saturday? Do you think it's Sydney? Do you think it's Geelong? I'd love to hear who you want to win on Saturday. And last but not least, somewhere down there, I know it's getting old, but yeah, somewhere down there is press the big red button which is labeled subscribe. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on you.